Alright, tribe. So, first let me apologize for recording in my car. I really try not to do that because, I don't know. Turn on this air. Yeah, I was trying to give you guys like a nice background and all that stuff, you know. But it's hot outside. It is offensive how hot it is. And then I got all this going on and it wouldn't have been great. So here I am. Here we are in the car. I don't know how long this video is gonna be because, like I was saying in my post earlier on Instagram, you know, I only have 10 minutes for IGTV, so I may rant for longer than that and just cut it at 10 minutes for IG, and then you all will, you know, have the opportunity to watch the rest of it on YouTube. Anyway, I hope you guys are having an awesome day, a wonderful weekend. For those of you that are planning on being outside, please be careful. Heat stroke is a thing. Wear your sunscreen. That's also a thing. Anyway, so today I wanted to talk to you guys about conscious parenting. It's really been on my mind. I am the mother of two, and I really try my best to be the best parent that I can be by being the parent that my kids need. And you know, for each kid it's different. Like my son has been through a lot, and you know, I shared on a previous post that he suffers from depression and anxiety, and so the way that he needs me to parent him is different than the way that my daughter needs me to parent her. She's only 3. She's this ball of fire. You know, and then just the fact that one is a boy, one is a girl, there's a lot that goes into that, you know, besides the age difference, because he's 15. But yeah, that's been on my heart to talk about. Yeah, it has. Growing up, I always felt like it was really hard to be the daughter of my mother. We've always kind of had a strange relationship. It's much better now. Like, we are literally building. Things have really gotten great. But the relationship I had with her when I was younger really affected the way that I parent my kids, you know. And of course, going through this journey of mine, I'm able to be compassionate enough to separate that mom title from my mom and see her as a person and understand why she did the things she did. And you know, she did the best she could with what she had, you know. That I can say. Like, she sacrificed a lot. Like, she was a great mother overall. There were just certain things that I needed that I now realize, you know, she just didn't have the tools to give because of how she was raised. So but it took me a while to get there. It took me a long time to get there, and for a long time I just didn't even understand that. And so it caused this, you know, there was a big wedge in between us, which thankfully is, you know, that gap is closing now. But anyway, yeah, so that affected me wanting to kind of really allow my kids to march to the beat of their own drums. And so I do. You know, I am what some would consider a very liberal mother. The way my son and I communicate, you know, it's very open, and I try to be as transparent with him as possible, and I'm always reinforcing that it's okay to feel what you feel. You know, it's okay to express what you feel. We're all human. And I think as parents, sometimes we get caught up, you know, in us being the parent, that we forget that these children are still people. They have their own set of emotions. They have their own set of thoughts. And by no means am I saying, you know, just let them do whatever the hell they want to do, because we still have to, and I hate the word train, but we still have to guide them so that they can be the best version of themselves, whatever that looks like, you know. I try really hard not to project whatever my dreams are for my kids, and I don't even have like a certain thing in mind for my kids. I really just want my kids to be happy and live up to whoever it is they are supposed to be, which is another thing I'm going to touch on in a second. But yeah, so for my son, his story, he lost his dad when he was 8, and it was rough. It's still rough. You know, we've really had to adjust to that new normal. One thing I did make sure is that he started therapy quickly, because I didn't want to have that fester. Therapy, meditation, Reiki, a great support system, you know. I've just really had to tweak a lot of stuff, and I've had to learn how to hear him without him even speaking. I've had to learn how to hear him differently, in a way that he needs to be heard. And I've had to learn how to create a space, you know, and how to verbalize that space is available to him and for him, you know, in whatever way that looks like. And I keep saying that because it's so important for us not to project our stuff on our kids, you know. And my therapist has helped me as well, to learn how to do that. I'm trying to watch the time because I'm trying to figure out where exactly I want to cap this video off. And then with my daughter, like I said, she's 3. So, and it's completely different. The age difference and just the fact that she is a girl, period. Okay? It's so different. And so, my my energy level, I really have to, she takes a lot out of me. God bless it. She takes a lot out of me, and I really have to prepare myself for her, because she's a big energy. She really is. But yeah, going back to my son, yeah, it's just, we are constantly in communication about what he needs and how he needs it, you know. And I'm not gonna lie, like, there are times where it can get frustrating, because as an empath, I can feel the changes in his mood. I can feel, you know, besides being his mother, being an empath on top of that, and just being able to feel the shifts of energy and the moods and the, you know, and I have had to gain a lot of patience and realize that there are times that he may not even know how to communicate what it is he wants or what it is he needs, and he may not even know what it is he needs at that time. He just may want to be around me. You know, and I have, that's something as simple as it is that I had to realize, like, you know, because there were times he would like come in my room And he'd be like, well, I just want to talk. And I'm like, okay, we'll talk. You know, what do you want to talk about? And he's like, I don't know. And it's like, okay. And then there's like this awkward thing where I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, you know. But that space is there. I've had to just allow him to be. I've had to just realize that he's not always gonna know. And there may be times where he just needs whatever he needs energetically from me, you know. And so I try to be that. I try to be very light, and I try to be light, if that makes sense. But for those of you that are parents that have kids that are, you know, going through the same thing, don't be overbearing. Just be available. There are times where you're gonna ask and it's like, well, what's wrong? And they'll say nothing, you know, or I'm fine. And like, you know that that's not the case. Instead of getting frustrated, just let them know that you're available and that they're allowed to feel whatever it is they're feeling, because that's important. You know, they don't want to feel, nobody wants to feel like a burden. Even as adults, you know, those of us that have anxiety, depression, or whatever else, we don't want to bother other people with our stuff. And we don't want to tell other people because we feel like they're not going to understand. And how much does that suck to be in a house with your parent 24/7 and you can't even talk to this person? You know, you want to be able to communicate to your kid that you're available, you know. And that takes a lot of work on your part, because you may be projecting something that you're unaware of that makes you unapproachable to them. So yeah, I think it's all about communication. Just figure out what they need. And then with my daughter, like I said, she is this big old ball of energy. And there was one point in time where, oh gosh, it was so much. Energetically, it was so much. She is just like, you know, on top of the fact that she's 3, her energy is so big. And I have had to, I've really had to learn how to not get frustrated when it goes on a little longer than I feel it should be going on, you know, because she's just live wire. And so that's really because I don't want her to feel like it's a bad thing to feel happy. Like, you know what I mean? If she is happy and full of joy and she's just like, you know, I just kind of take my breath while she's doing her thing and let her be happy, because eventually she does get tired. She will calm down. She will take a break, you know. But it's very important not to project that frustration onto your children. It's very important. I'm trying to remember. I know when my son was younger, he was that way too. And I was a lot younger. I was 20 when I had my kid, my first born. And I would literally just put my face in a pillow because he would be up so early. Still an early riser. He'd be up early just for no reason, and I would turn on the television, make sure like everything around us was safe. We'd be in my room, and put the toys on, put on Sesame Street, and then just try to just try to rest my eyes while he was doing that, while he was doing his thing, you know. And yeah. Anyway, sorry, I was in my head for a second, but yeah, I think it's important to Give each kid what they need the way that they need it. Don't project your dreams and fears onto your kid. That fear thing is a big thing, because a lot of times we as parents, we've been through some stuff. Your kids ain't even experienced nothing yet. And it's okay to want to protect them and all that stuff, but don't hold on so tight that they don't get to experience life, the good side of life. You know, use your parental barometer. If you're not having a good feeling about something, you know, and it's legit, then act on that. But if it's just because you're having a personal issue with whatever, that's not really fair to them, you know. Next thing I want to talk about, nurturing who our kids are. So, I don't know if you all saw, but on my IG story, one of my business partners, T, she's doing purpose readings on birth charts. Now, all of us have access to a birth chart. It's going to tell you, like, your sun sign, moon, rising, it's all there, and it's all based on your birthday, right? So each chart is unique. Everyone's chart is unique to them, and your chart will tell you different places that you're meant to thrive, how you love, how, you know, your work ethic, things that you're supposed to be doing. And she did one for my son, and it was, oh my God, it was so powerful. And it really helped me. It helps me as a mother. And she and I are actually going to do a video on this. I just kind of need to get my piece out while it was in my head. But, yeah, it really helps me as a mom, because not only was it spot on with my son, right? One, it just gave me a lot of joy, because I'm like, wow, I birthed this person. This is who this is who I got to have, you know. And so knowing what his chart says, knowing exactly what his purpose is, knowing how he's supposed to get there, I can now do my job as the parent and make sure those things are in place so that he can go ahead and take those steps. You know, like, he's meant to travel, he's meant to do all these things. And it's funny, because all of his interests align with his purpose, which is amazing. And so he and I are actually supposed to be going through and talking about everything tomorrow, so that we can sit down and make a plan, so that he will be able to not only live up to his potential, but walk in his purpose. How powerful is that? And with my daughter, she's only 3, so it's really best. I have to get the details on it. But she was saying for kids under 6 or kids under 10, she can kind of guide you on how the kid really needs you to parent them. You know what I mean? And I think over 10, it's like, she can tell you, like, all the possibilities. She just sees different things based on the age. You know, I don't want to say it wrong, but it's different. It's all different. And so she hasn't done my daughters yet, but I'm really looking forward to that, because like I said, my kids are 2 totally different people, and I do embrace that. And I just want to do a great job. You know, I'm doing my best to set an example of living transparently and living in your truth, and being okay with being open and sharing stuff with people, because there's always someone that can learn from your experience, you know. So I'm almost grateful that I've been through everything that I've been through with my mother and even my dad, because in each relationship with my mother and my father, it's been different hurdles. Um, with my dad, it was always me wanting to shine in his eyes and wanting to do things the way that he felt things should be done, you know, because I felt that because he was so successful, he knew exactly what to do, and that there was this cookie cutter way to do it for sorry, for everyone. Of course, that's not the case, you know. And I had to find that out later. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm still not 100% over whatever was happening the other day. But yeah. So I see the reason why I've been through certain things. Is, you know, as an empath, as a light worker, you're supposed to go through certain things so that you can go ahead and help others heal and bring light, and, you know, all that stuff I've been saying all this time. But yeah, it has really helped. It's really helped me as a parent. It really has. And there will be times where I'm like, gosh, you know, I'll take every little thing personally. If somebody says something about me or my kids or the way whatever, and I just take it so personally because I'm always doing the best that I can, you know. And it's not to say that I'm perfect or that sorry, or that I can't take criticism or pointers, but yeah, the littlest things sometimes I'm just like, can't you see I'm doing my best here? And then you have times where people are like, gosh, you're a great parent, you're doing such a great job. And I was like, oh my gosh, and I always hear it right when I need to hear it. Right when I need to hear it, you know, because I am doing my best, and I feel like as parents we should, you know, we should do our best with what we have, and we should do our best to put our kids in better situations than what we had. You know, no matter where you start on the totem pole or whatever, make sure your kid has it better, you know. Or if you're starting at a certain point, make sure your kid sees you trying. You know, and explain to them what's going on. I know my son loves the fact that I communicate things with him, and it's not to put weight on his shoulders and add adult responsibility to him. That's not the point. And you know, both of my kids have very old souls, but especially my son. And there's a lot that I know mentally, despite the things that he has to deal with on a daily basis in regards to mental health. There are a lot of things mentally that he is able to handle. And so because of that, there are conversations that we do have, you know. And while I still reinforce, you know, you're a kid, there's no expectation here, I'm just letting him know what's going on. Yeah. So what else? Oh, so you guys know, like, I'm really big on like meditation and stuff. My kids meditate. My son gets Reiki. Once I feel like my daughter can or will sit still enough for it, then she'll start getting Reiki too. She does well with her nighttime meditations overall. There are two in particular that she likes. We use the Meditation Studio app for her, and they have a whole kid series, and there's one series, it's called Good Night Kiddo, and it's a whole slew of good night meditation for kids. So she does that. My son does well with, like, as far as meditation, he does well with like 5-minute guided meditations, but he really does great when he gets Reiki. which is the energy healing for those of you that aren't familiar with that. It just, helps balance your energy, clear whatever blockages are going on in your chakras and your energy fields, and it's really good. But yeah. So I just want to encourage the parents out there to keep doing your best. All is not lost. None of us know everything, and it can be hard, especially with today's society. It's really rough, but you are not alone, and when things get too rough, don't take it all in. Let someone know you need help or whatever. Don't take it all in. It really does take a village. It really, really does. You need support as parents, and your kids need support. And if you're not, if you are constantly giving out, and not being filled back up, then your kids are going to feel that too. Right? So, self-care. Take care of you so that you can take care of others. Well, I've been talking for almost 30 minutes. And I think I'm about done. Yeah. So that's it. I hope you all have an awesome weekend. If I think of anything else, I will jump back on. You can follow me on social media: Facebook, High.Vibe.5, Instagram, High.Vibe.5. The book that I co-authored, Women Are Roses, is now out. You can find it on Amazon. Go purchase that book. 10 women came together and we all told our stories, and it's so powerful. The messages, the strength, the transparency that is in this book. So you all go check that out, okay? Other than that, until next time, I love you all. Be sweet to yourselves.